Hey everyone, welcome to your February 2022 predictions reading. This one I'm doing as a pick a deck, so choose whichever deck or even whatever stone resonates with you. For deck one, we have the Witch's Tarot, and I've got a Hematite stone, which is the stone that I typically use to charge the deck with. For card pile 2, we have the Light Seer's Tarot deck, and this cute little piece of garnet, which is again the stone I used to charge the deck with. And finally, for card pile number 3, we have the Muse Tarot, and yeah, you guessed it, this amethyst piece I used to charge the deck with. Surprise, right? It's kind of a cute little teardrop shape, but yeah. So just take a second, pick 1, 2, or 3, and we're going to get right into these. Let's see what February has in store for us. Hello, card pile number 1. So you've chosen the Witch's Tarot or this Hematite stone. Hematite is a really good protective stone. For me, it's one of those stones where it's just kind of like a mirror, where it's just like it bounces right off you, right? And that's kind of how it protects you. I know it might not be that way for everyone, but that's just kind of how I see it, which is what I really like about the stone. It's one of those good stones for dissolving negativity. It's helpful for insomnia as well, but mainly it's a good protection stone. So I feel like that's possibly the basis of your reading. We're going to find out, shall we? Let's see what February is all about for those of you who have chosen deck number 1, the Witch's Tarot. Let's see here. Right off the bat, I'm liking these cards. I know nothing's kind of shown up yet, but let's fix that, shall we? First card's coming out, you've got the Emperor, Page of Wands, and we also had the Star, Page of Pentacles, Queen of Cups, and Six of Pentacles. Okay, so this has an energy of, I want to say, really picking and choosing who you're dealing with here. And that might sound a little weird, but we've got a lot of courts coming out here. We got 2 pages, the Emperor, and a Queen. So it definitely feels like a real picky, choosy kind of my way or the highway. At the bottom of the deck, we have the World, and underneath that, we have the Hermit, 4 of Swords. So it's kind of like, I want to say, cutting some people off, cutting some people out, whatever you feel is necessary, right? But really going within and trying to do this soul searching. You can see the Hermit here in this deck. He's kind of in a colder climate for sure. He's up pretty high. There's a lot of ice. There's a lot of snow. So it might feel to the people around you as though you're kind of going cold, cutting them out, not really wanting to deal with them. It feels like to me, though, this is kind of a survival technique, something you just have to do to take care of yourself, even if it means walking away from people, which I really think is where that cutting off energy is coming from. There does feel to be a walking away, right? The world is completion, it's cycles ending. Excuse me. I have a bit of a tickle in my throat ever since I started this reading in particular. So it's almost like it kind of feels a little bit like a difficult conversation to have. But at the end of the day, you're not really settling for what other people want you to do or how they want you to live your life, because you're the Emperor here. This feels like your energy. It feels like I'm not listening to you, I'm my own boss kind of energy. I don't have to do what anyone else wants me to do. And ultimately, I do feel like it's kind of more for your own well-being, your own happiness, your own health, I want to say, with the Star card here. You've got 2 pages. It's kind of like, I want to say resetting your journey. Not necessarily quitting, because obviously the journey isn't over yet. It's more like starting a next step, right? The world may be completion, but it's also a beginning. Like when something ends, something else has to begin, right? It just kind of feels like you're just saying goodbye to everything that was and things that aren't serving you anymore. And you're instead trying to really focus on the things that matter, is what I want to say with this Page of Pentacles. Like the things that are real, the things that you know are what you need. Again, the things that are solid, relationships, jobs, whatever. Whatever is really speaking to your heart, I want to say. Because with this Star card, it does feel like you've reached a point where you've been a little burned out and you're trying to water the garden, so to speak. Just really tend to your own needs. I think it's something that you've been hoping for a while. Wishing just like, man, I wish I had the time for this. Man, I wish I had the time for that. I think it's getting to the point where you're kind of making time for the things, again, that matter, the things that you love. And I don't see you doing it in a necessarily harsh way. The Emperor can sometimes lend a bit of like a harsher energy to things, I find, just because they're very, no, this is my way, this is how we're doing it, I rule this, that sort of thing. I feel like in this case, the Queen of Cups is tempering that a little bit. Really softening the edges, just being like, hey, look, I'd really like to, but I can't. This is why. It's nothing against you, it's just something I need to do for me. I do feel like in some cases, you'll have a firm hand where you need it. You're not a total doormat, but you're just wanting to give yourself some space, I find. And the strongest energy I'm feeling from this is the Six of Pentacles. It's where you're putting your energy, what you're allotting to the things that you like, right? Finding the balance that you need to find, because maybe there's too much on one end and you're finding there's a severe lack on the other and you can't do it anymore. Like you just need to, again, tend the garden. Tend the garden. That's what just keeps coming up into my head. I don't know if you have a garden. I know up here it's not exactly the best weather for a garden, but that doesn't mean you can't have something indoors. I almost feel like I had this come through a garden in a previous reading. I think for maybe a specific sign. I absolutely do not remember. But if you've watched a previous video and you were like, yeah, there was a garden, this is really familiar, please let me know. Because I've done a lot of readings lately and I just need to, I guess, sort things out with myself. I just don't remember what reading that was, but I swear this energy was coming through before, the need to tend a garden. And again, it doesn't necessarily need to be a physical garden, like a literal, there's carrots and peas and whatever, what have you out there. It could just be yourself. Tend to yourself, tend to your own needs, right? I feel a strong focus on you and what's best for you. Yeah, even if you aren't sure about it, even if it hurts some feelings, I feel like you need a new beginning, if that makes sense. And this feels like it's it. Maybe when the new year hit, it was one of those situations where I was just like, yeah, new year, new me, we're doing this. But January got away from you. I know exactly what that means because, I mean, I feel you. I'm there. I cannot believe we're already almost at February. But yeah, it kind of feels like you're tapping the brakes and you're saying, no, I kind of need to do something for me. I need to take some time. I need to change this path that I'm on, which is a really good way to do things. Like outside of a bit of uncertainty, not being sure what to say, because again, my throat has just, it is not agreeing with me since starting this reading in particular. Um, Outside of maybe not knowing how to tell people your needs, I feel like you're still going to try. You're still going to push forward in this because you know this is what you need, what's best for you. And you know this is what's ultimately going to benefit those around you as well, because we cannot take care of other people if we're not taking care of ourselves, right? So let's see. Excuse me. Let's get you a Moonology card, those of you who have chosen this first deck. What do we have for February? Thank you. Yeah. New moon in Capricorn, your hard work is paying off. Coincidentally, February 1st is a new moon, so it definitely feels like a start again energy, right? And I still really like that. I want to get you as well. Where did I put it? Wisdom of the Hidden Realms for February, for those of you who have chosen this first deck. Ooh. Okay, so you've actually got two cards. You have the High Lord of Gratitude and Service, selflessness, humility, conscious action. I think that's kind of what you're striving for, but at the same time, you need to take a little time for you, which is absolutely fine. Everyone needs some time for themselves. And you also have here sacred union, partnership, and romance. Now, this wasn't necessarily something that came through with the rest of the reading, but it's February, right? It's Valentine's Day. There's no reason why something like this, excuse me, can't show up, even in Oracle cards. I mean, I guess we have the Queen of Cups here. You could be meeting someone who's a Queen of Cups kind of person that really, I want to say, draws you in with their compassion and like the nurturing side of things, I guess. But I don't know. It feels more like you take the time for you and you do whatever you need to do, and then that sort of thing attracts a sacred union, right? It attracts romance, it attracts the partnership. And I think once you've taken time to really tend to your own needs, it'll help your other qualities shine, I think is what I'm hearing, which is really good. I like that. It's kind of like you've been busting your ass, and now you know your limits. You've set a boundary, and you're going to take time for you, which is really good. You're going to put energy into what you feel is most important to you. And yeah, it draws in a lot of really nice stuff. So I really like February for you. Those of you who have chosen this first deck. It just really feels like I want to say a warm bath is the energy I'm getting, like a nice hot bubble bath, just relaxing, taking care of yourself month, which is really nice. And yeah, the hematite is a good protection stone. I do feel like you are protecting yourself this month, which is, I guess, the best you could ask for. This looks like it's going to lead to some really nice stuff. So that's what I have for you. Card pile number one, card deck number one, what have you. I really hope this resonated. If it did, please drop a like down below. It lets me know as a tarot reader I've tapped into your energies, which is very important because I strive to give the most accurate messages that I can. And for those of you who wish to see more, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. If you have, thank you very much. It really helps me keep this channel going. And I hope you have the best February ever. Okay? Take care of yourselves. Hello, those of you who have chosen deck number two, Light Seer's Tarot, or this piece of garnet, what have you. I really like garnet. Not only is it my birthstone as a Capricorn, it is also just a really It's a good stone for productivity, prosperity, which might be why I like it, Capricorn, right? But it's also a really good stone for helping you flow with transformation, right? Um, Dealing with change, because it's also a good stone of strength and endurance. So let's see how this um, relates to your month. February already, can you believe it? I'm struggling too. It flew, it honestly flew. But let's see what we have for those of you who have chosen deck number 2, the month of February 2022. Ooh. It's throwing out chunks of deck, which I don't really like. Almost like it's fighting me for a message, which is interesting. Maybe this is why. That strength card. What did I say? Stone of strength, right? Couple more cards, please. Okay, take 3. Oh, 4. That was tricky. Interesting. This is one heck of a month for you. Card pile number 2. Not gonna lie. So first card you had out was the Queen of Swords, High Priestess, 8 of Cups, 8 of Pentacles, 4 of Swords, 8 of Wands, and the Lovers. What the heck is going on, you guys? This honestly feels like, I want to say, a situation that has started in January, possibly also previously. That I want to say you're trying to find an ending to, if that makes sense. This Queen of Swords here, this feels like your energy. Mostly with it's kind of like a cutting out bullshit, not really letting your emotions do the talking sort of card. And I say that because we also have this 8 of Cups. So you're walking away from something this month. Now this is interesting here because we do have 8 of Pentacles. It could be work, it could be a job, but we also have the Lovers here, so it could be a relationship. So this might be one of those things where take it as it resonates. If it's not a job, if it's a person, that's you. If it's not a person, it's a job, it's you. Ultimately, I feel like the message is still pretty similar. With the High Priestess here, you are I just started seeing through the bullshit. And the Queen of Swords energy is going to let you cut through it and cut it out, right? So it's definitely a month of really being in touch with your intuition, not really letting things fool you, seeing behind the scenes, reading between the lines is what I just heard. So yeah, you're not going to let people take advantage of you, for one thing, mostly because you're just going to turn around and walk away, is what I'm hearing. I feel like you are really setting some strong boundaries. You are really leaning into your sense of self-worth, which is really good. Knowing what you deserve, what you don't deserve, not accepting anything less than what you deserve, that kind of energy. But it's really, it feels like an inner strength as well. Whatever it is you've been through, be it with the job or with the person, it feels like it's been a lot. Regardless, it's enough to need a rest with this 4 of Swords. I think you've been handling it fairly well. The Strength card often also lends a sense of dignity to me. So I feel like you've definitely held on to that. You're walking away with your head held high, is what I heard. We also have 3 8s here, right? Which is really interesting. This, again, the Strength card, because the Strength is card number 8. So there is definitely a whole heck of a lot of inner strength going on here. I heard for some of you there's also a bit of like a fierce nature, which is kind of like a don't cross me sort of energy. Not really like in a full out angry, maybe like abusive energy, but just one of those things where you're just like, I don't take shit from other people. That kind of energy. Again, Queen of Swords. This is real, like a real strong inner strength, pushing forward, healing energy I'm getting also with this Four of Swords. This is really stupid, but my brain is moving in math right now. 2 times 4 is 8, right? 6 plus 2 is also 8. I know that's adding cards together, but it just feels like the way I see it, like with this High Priestess here, you're listening to the needs of your own body. You're listening to when you need rest, when you need food, when you need water, and you're really, it feels in tune with yourself this month. And also, if you have a person and you haven't left them, if you've left something else, but you're with someone else, is what I'm getting. Like, if you're not walking away from a love situation, if you're staying with them, it feels like you're going to be really in tune with them this month, if that makes sense. And even if you have left them, it might be because you have listened to your intuition. You've been like, look, something isn't right here. I don't quite know what it is, but I'm gonna find out. That's really the energy I'm feeling here. I get the feeling that you've put a lot into work, you put a lot into relationships, you put a lot into, I want to say, making things work, however that resonates for you. And now you're just kind of taking a little break, which is perfectly fine. Everyone needs a little bit of a break now and then. This Eight of Wands feels to me like there's some kind of movement coming, and it almost feels like a message coming through. I will clarify that. I also want to go over the bottom of the deck here. You have Seven of Cups, which is kind of like examining your options. And underneath that, you have Seven of Swords. So I want to say, make sure you have all the information when it comes to making a decision. The Tower, whatever this decision is, it's gonna shake your life. It's gonna change the way things are. Ultimately, it's for the best with this Sun card, which is really nice. I really like that. Let's clarify this. What is this Eight of Wands here, please? Four of Coins at the bottom of the deck. My first thought there was this might be in regards to money. Nine of Swords, Five of Cups, Four of Swords. It feels like there's been a little bit of stress here, a lot of worry, maybe regret for how some situations have been handled in the past with this Five of Cups. There's definitely, I want to say, some depression and a whole lot of anxiety regarding this. And again, with this Four of Coins at the bottom of the deck, it really does feel like money. Conqueror of Coins, Ace of Swords. Yeah, it's definitely communication with that Ace of Swords. Like something's coming in here. But again, we have Four of Swords. It's like taking a break, doing some healing, fixing what needs fixing kind of things. So I want to say there's something sticking here it's a really weird way to say that. Something's sticking with that. I want a little more. This Eight of Wands, please. Again, we have the Seven of Coins. The bottom of the deck. Seven of Pentacles. Three of Swords, Two of Swords. Again, there's been some bad feelings, a lot of confusion, not really sure. Sure, for some of you, maybe where your next meal is coming from. Seven of Wands, Ruler of Wands. Seven of Wands, it definitely feels like protection energy, really trying to do what's best for you. Ruler of Wands, which is the King of Wands, kind of tells me you're trying to make it look as though things aren't affecting you, I guess I want to say. It's almost like with this Eight of Wands, this might be something you end up having to recover from. The optimist in me says that maybe this is something that's going to ease your fears, but I gotta say there's a whole lot of swords here. I'm not really certain if that's the case. The one redeeming thing that I see here is the Four of Swords. Like, it's the second time it's come out. So I don't know if maybe some of you might be quitting a job, losing a job, maybe a job doesn't pan out. Maybe some sort of money situation doesn't pan out, which is very unfortunate. Yeah. I want to say the steps that you're taking, what's coming through here, it feels like you're doing the best you can with what you've got. You're really trying hard not to let things get to you. Just looking at the bottom of the deck here, Seven of Coins, which is Seven of Pentacles. Really putting a lot of work, putting a lot of patience, planting seeds for your future. Four of Coins underneath that. It feels like saving energy. Again, we have the Lovers. This might boil down to a partnership or a choice, a large choice, a very impactful choice. 10 of Coins underneath that, 10 of Pentacles, which is really good. It's money, a lot of money. Could be an inheritance, a windfall, but it's leaving a legacy as well. And then we have the Queen of Pentacles, the Sovereign of Coins. So it's almost like saying whatever message comes in, it might not be exactly what you want to hear. It might still throw you for a loop. But again, I get the feeling that you're going to try to make it seem as though it's not really affecting you. It's not as bad as it seems. And it probably really isn't as bad as it seems with those cards at the bottom of the deck there. From what I could see underneath the deck, it still feels like you're in a fairly good position. Obviously, whatever comes in through here, maybe not the best position, maybe not exactly what you want, but at the end of the day, I feel like whatever choice you need to make is going to be the one that's best for you. So let's get you Moonology card for February 2022. Those of you who have chosen the Late Seers deck. Card deck number 2. Have here, please. I'm going to pull a second one on this because I'm not just going to leave it with this. And you'll see why in a second. Yeah. Okay. Whatever this situation is, it says nothing will come of this situation. That was the first card that came out. Very likely not what you really wanted to hear, but the second card says it's a time for healing. Okay, so whatever this is, whatever I feel like you're gonna have to walk away from because nothing is coming away from it, it's gonna be okay. Time for healing is here for sure. I'm at the bottom of the deck after that. A win-win outcome is forecast, which is ultimately the best you can ask for in a situation like this, where things aren't really, I guess, gonna work out the way you're hoping for, the way you want to. I'm just looking here again, like nothing's gonna come of it, but there's not really a whole lot of emotion invested in this situation, is what I'm seeing with this Queen of Cups or Queen of Swords. Sorry. Plus, the the only cup we have here is the 8, which is walking away. So it's basically, it's not serving you. So you're like, all right, well, time to go, I guess. And that's absolutely fine, because sometimes you have to walk away from situations. You can really hope for them to work out, but that doesn't mean they will, right? So let's see. I also have Wisdom of the Hidden Realms. What do we have for those people who have chosen the second deck? Okay. See, this is all right. You have the Eagle King, the big picture, angelic help. So it's kind of like if you're really focusing on the details here, if you're really trying to make this one aspect work, walking away from it's perfectly okay. And I think it's going to help you see the bigger picture. It's going to guide you in the direction you need to go for healing and a better opportunity to come, I want to say. Because, I mean, after the healing comes 8 of Wands and the Lovers, right? So it's almost as though after you've taken the time, after you've healed from whatever didn't work out, whatever you need to leave behind, you get a message, right? Things start moving forward, probably at a quicker pace than you anticipate. And something better suited for you comes along. That's what this Lovers card is. You might still have to choose something, but whatever you choose is going to be for your best, okay? Which still works. It still works. So like I said at the beginning, like this does feel something, it feels like something that's carrying forward from January, or possibly even before that. And it's just a moment of finally leaving it behind, separating yourself emotionally, finding your sense of self-worth, setting your boundaries, what's going to work, what isn't going to work, moving forward and really starting to do the inner work, the work that you need to do for you to heal, and it brings about better, which is really nice. I really like this. I really like the angelic help there too. It's kind of like a nice loving touch that says things are still going to be okay, which is really good. Okay, so that's what I have for you. Those of you who have chosen the second deck, Light Seers Tarot. I hope this resonated. If it did, please drop a like down below. It lets me know as a tarot reader I've tapped into your energies, which is super important because I really do aim to give you the most accurate message that I can. If you want to see more, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Those of you who have, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. It does help me keep this channel going. And yeah, I really hope you have the best February ever. All right, take care of yourselves, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye. Hello, those of you who have chosen deck number 3, the Muse Tarot, or this lovely piece of amethyst stone, what have you, whichever. Amethyst is one of those great stones for insomnia. It's really good for meditation. It's really good for healing, patience. And I also use it. Amethyst is one of the stones I use for bringing about abundance through feng shui. I do have a video on that from several months ago. If you're up for that, if you want to watch it, how to bring in abundance. Probably I'm going to link it up here. Okay, so let's see what February has in store for you. Okay, let's get into this. I really hope the year is treated you well so far. I know February flew by for me. I don't know how it went for you, but I hope it was good. So let's see. Don't hit the floor with that card. What else do we have for February? A few more. One more, they said. And then we'll start throwing these together, okay? There we go. Whew. I'm just going to show you this first. Bottom of the deck is the Death card. There's some change coming here. Strong transformation. First card we have is the Muse of Emotions, the King of Cups. Eight of Voices, Ace of Voices. Voices are swords in this deck. Okay, what else do we have here? We have Knight of Voices. Eight of Materials, which is Pentacles. Queen of Voices and Awakening, which in traditional decks is Judgment. Okay, so this is interesting. It almost feels like you're making some changes here in regards to how you express yourself with all these voices coming out here. With the Muse of Emotions, that King of Cups, it's kind of like you want to, I want to say things a little bit more gently, if that makes sense. This Queen of Voices doesn't really feel like your energy, though, as I look at it. This kind of looks like a person you might be dealing with. Someone who also speaks plainly, I want to say, speaks bluntly. Someone who really likes the truth, I just heard. It's interesting. This might be a boss next to this Eight of Materials, Eight of Pentacles. Kind of like this. So changed. Seven of Emotions, Seven of Cups, Six of Inspiration, to Swans, the Moon. It's almost feeling like the way that you choose to word things kind of changes the way people interact with you as well. Changes the way that I want to say they see you. I definitely feel a bit of, I want to say, an opening up here with this Eight of Voices. Ace of Voices leads me to believe that this is something that I want to say that you've been trying to do for a while. I almost want to say this is a conversation you've been meaning to have for a while as well. Because I feel like with this Knight of Voices, this is something that you've been looking at, something that you've been considering, putting a lot of thought into. I really almost feel like this might be something to do with work. Let's see. Queen of Voices. What do I call it by that? Okay. Yeah. I feel like this is a new person. Because again, this doesn't really feel like your energy. This feels like someone new that you're dealing with. And the Fool here tells me that yes, they are indeed new. And then you've got the Ten of Cups here. So I think this is someone that you're going to be happier working with if this ends up being a boss, or just something or someone that you enjoy being around if they end up just being a friend, things like that. I feel like you really appreciate how they speak and what they say. Because I feel like this is a very straightforward person, and I almost get the feeling that you're not really used to that. You're not really used to being able to express yourself to people and having them really understand what you're saying. I feel like for some of you, maybe you're not able to speak the way that you want to speak. You have to put a lot of thought into how you say things so that you don't inadvertently hurt someone's feelings. And I think in the past that has made you feel pretty isolated with this Hermit card. You've been putting a lot of thought into how do I do this better? How can I make this work? Conqueror of Cups, Knight of Cups. I think I'm going to say you've done some test drives on this. Conqueror of Coins is here as well. Those are both knights. So it's kind of like you really wanted to make sure that you were doing this the right way, and then all of a sudden along comes this person, and it kind of feels as though you can be, I want to say, more open with them, which is really nice. It's kind of, I want to say it's like they get you. You know what I mean? Eight of Materials. Yeah. Four of Wands, Ruler of Swords. Ruler is king, so we have the king and the queen. This definitely feels like someone who's better suited to your style, better suited to your life. And again, this doesn't necessarily have to be something romantic. This could just be a new person in your life that you really I want to say vibe with, you really click with. Again, someone you're not really afraid of because you feel like you kind of match the same wavelength, which is, I want to say, very freeing with this Four of Wands here. It's kind of like a cause for celebration. Like, all right, this is awesome. I can finally be who I am. I can finally express myself to someone who understands, and this is going to change the way that I live my life, which I really like that. Awakening is here to kind of, I want to say, enhance that feeling of this is it, this is the path, this person, whoever this is really going to change the way I live, change the way I do things. Again, with this Death card, there's a very strong transformation coming through this month, which I really like. I really like the opening up energy that I'm feeling from these cards. And I feel like you're going to feel very happy with this as well. Finally being able to express yourself the way you want to express yourself, right? Without fear, without judgment, right? Because that is what awakening is in the traditional decks. It's judgment. So let's see. I actually want to clarify that judgment card, awakening. Wheel of Fortune at the bottom of the deck. The wheel turns, luck is on your side. Things are changing. Again, it very much emphasizes the counterpart that I'm feeling here. The Hierophant, the Four of Wands. Four of the Wands is the 1111 card, the wish card, the marriage card for some people, right? Combined with the Hierophant, I'm inclined to agree. The Devil card has also come out here, so I want to say keep a close eye on how attached you are to this person, I want to say. But mostly what's just coming through here is like this person is meant to be on your path. This person is connected to you in some way, karmically, I want to say. Not to say that this is a karmic relationship, but more of someone that you are supposed to meet, someone that you are supposed to interact with, someone that you possibly are meant to learn from and teach something to. But with the Hierophant and the Four of Wands here, this does feel like someone who will likely be in your life for a little while, if not forever. It's gonna vary for all of you because, like, the Hierophant is commitment, right? It is a link. It is committing to something for basically forever, right? But that doesn't mean that the commitment always lasts. You know what I mean? So I don't just want to outright say, yeah, this person is going to be with you forever, like, because it's not necessarily what that means. It's going to be slightly different for all of you, but I do feel like you're going to vastly enjoy your time with this person, whoever they are to you, which is a good thing, right? We want to enjoy the time that we spend with people. It's very exhausting when we can't, so let's get you a Moonology card for February 2022, those who have chosen their deck. There we go. You have bring love into this situation. So I want to say for a lot of you, this very well could be a relationship, a new person who eventually becomes your person, right? And even if it's not, I mean, we love our friends, right? We love the people who we spend our most of our time with. I love my friends. That's why they're my friends. So there's really nothing wrong with that. I really like that. I feel like I feel like you're going to feel accepted because most of the energy that I'm feeling here is a very strong sense of freedom and acceptance, which is really nice. I really love that. So let's also get you a Wisdom of the Hidden Realms Oracle. Those of you who have chosen deck 3. without it being half a deck, please. There we go. I like this. The resting tree. Patience and stillness. It kind of feels like it's not something that's going to immediately be like, this is it, we're good. It's just, this is just 1 month. It's kind of like leading into it. Perhaps you meet this person this month, but there's still some work to be done, right? With this 8 of materials, you still have to build the relationship, right? So I want to say, don't rush into things for sure, especially with this Knight of Swords here. Do take your time, like get to know each other. But yeah, I do think you're gonna feel like you're going to be able to be yourself right from the beginning. So yeah, no, I really like this. This has actually been really good. I want to say for all 3 decks, which is what I like to see. I like good messages. Not that bad messages are necessarily bad. Sometimes it's nice to be forewarned, right? But yeah, if this resonated, and I hope it did, please drop a like down below. Lets me know as a tarot reader I've tapped into your energies, which is super important for me because I do strive to give the very best accurate messages that I can. And for those of you who want to see more, hit the subscribe button also below. Really helps me to keep this channel going, for one thing. So those of you who have already subscribed, thank you. And I really hope to see you in the next one. Have a fantastic February and take care.